You know, if you're like most of us, obviously you're on Instagram or Facebook or social media, and I am sure that you've seen the meme before, or some comment or some post about if you want to be more successful in life, you've got to change your mindset. I mean, we see that everywhere. And you know, you hear the social media personalities talking about it all the time and the gurus, and they make a big deal out of it, and it makes a lot of sense, but people tell you you have to change your mindset. Now, let me ask you, where in your life have you tried to change your mindset? Maybe you said, for example, you know what, I want to make more money at work, or I want to stop eating carbs, or I want to do more of XYZ, and you know what, I've got to change my mindset about that. Let me ask you a question. You ever noticed before that many times when you say you want to change your mindset, what happens is you're good for a day or two, and then very quickly you're right back to your old behaviors again. Let's say, for example, that you want to change your mindset about drinking, I don't know, let's just say Diet Coke. I want to be healthy and I'm going to stop drinking Diet Coke, and then very quickly you're right back to your old behaviors again. Now I'm going to give you a brain-based approach here and a new way to think about changing your mindset. Anytime you say you want to change your mindset, as I said, or as I meant, what you're meaning is you want to change a habit. Now, habits come from the older part of the brain called the reptilian brain. So anytime you say you want to change your mindset, what you're really saying is that you want to change some behavior. You want to change something. And the reality is it's not that you want to change, a new way to look at this, it's not that you want to change your mindset. What you want to change is your brain set. And let me explain that for a second. As I just said, all of your habits come from the older part of the brain called the reptilian part of the brain. Now let me explain this, so just stay with me here for a second. So when you say, for example, I want to change my mindset, that is analytical thought, which comes from the prefrontal cortex, which is the larger executive part of the brain. It's the thinking part of the brain. So you will say things which are analytical, you know, I really shouldn't drink Diet Coke anymore, and I'm going to change my mindset about that. However, the habit of drinking Diet Coke comes from the older part of the brain, the reptilian part of the brain, and then what happens, you've got the analytical thinking part of the brain saying, you know what, Diet Coke is not good for you, you should stop drinking it. But then you have the reptilian part of the brain, the older part of the brain, the oldest part, I should say, and that's the part of the brain where habits are housed, and then what happens is you create what I call a brain battle. You have the thinking part of the brain saying stop drinking Diet Coke. You've got the oldest part of the brain, which is the part of the brain where we store habits, saying drink Diet Coke. Now what happens, and I know you've been here before because I have, then what happens is we create what's called I call it a habit battle, a brain battle. You've got the thinking part of the brain, drink Diet Coke, fighting the older reptilian part of the brain, or stop drinking Diet Coke, the thinking part of the brain, and the older part of the brain saying drink, drink, drink. Now you've got the habit battle back and forth with two parts of your brain, and this is why most people fail when they try to change their habits, is because they actually, no one's taught us this, is they pit their brain or parts of their brain against itself. And they've got two parts of the brain working against itself, and then what happens is the oldest part of the brain, which actually also runs from urges, because it's urges that actually remind us that we have to get into a habit. So we have the urge, and then very quickly we fall right back to the old habit again, even though we say, I want to change my mindset. So what I want to point out here is many of you are seeking. You're seeking a new mindset. You're seeking new ways to think. But as I just said, for many of us that wears off very, very quickly. So what you want to do is, now as a result of learning this and becoming a conscious transformer, is we want to start working on our habits, because we don't get what we want in life. Like, for example, I could say I don't want to drink Diet Coke. We don't get what we want, we get what our habits are. Okay, as I say in every video, we've touched on it a bit here. I want to take you deeper into this topic with a podcast episode. So look, somewhere here in the video, click the link, and I'll catch you over on the podcast.